Hi, Vicky. How are you? I was going to try to stream to YouTube, but that wasn't working. Oh, it is working. Oh, how fun. It says it's working. Well, that's a little crazy. Why did it say, huh? So it is, well, I feel a little goofy here because it says it's going live on YouTube, and that's a good thing. So excuse me for um, stumbling around there. And I have a new little guest in my home, and so hopefully she will be quiet while we are doing our live stream today. And I've got a great topic. So if you'll excuse me for just a second, I'm going to go ahead and click record and get ready for our show today, streaming on YouTube and on Win Win Women TV. Your message matters. That is our weekly show that we show up live and just have wonderful conversations. And there goes Puppy. So I don't know for sure how this is going to work today. We'll see. We will see. She's been such a joy. So we're going to go ahead and click record and start our show. Again, welcome to Your Message Matters. Hi, friend. I am so glad and grateful that you are here. This is another episode of Your Message Matters because it does. Your message does matter. And here on this show, we turn your life victories into vibrant stories that you will want to share, maybe with the world. What do you think? I think so. You're in the right place if you are writing a book, if you already have a book, if you are thinking about it. Any of those stages, we touch on all of it. And my name is Lori Raupe. I am the proud founder of the Butterfly Publishing Company. I'm also an author's coach, a bestseller launch consultant, and I am here with you every week to navigate this world of turning our ideas into impactful books that create an income for you. And again, thank you for being here. So grab your cozy place, a cup of whatever is good for you, tea, coffee, or water. I love water myself, maybe even lemon water. That's a good way to start the day, I hear. So let's dive in. And we're going to talk about some practical tips and tricks on how you can create a buzz around your book or in preparation. This is a great topic today. So almost a year ago now, I met a lady who truly has changed my life. Her name's Molly Mahoney. And I met her in the back of a room as she was preparing to speak to a group of ladies, HeartLink, which is the network that I support. And she was getting ready to go on stage, but she was not in the on stage frame of mind. In fact, she was pretty upset and I don't know that I would say she was crying, but definitely had tears in her eyes, not the emotion you want to have when you're next up to be on stage. And at that time, she had recently had a life-changing event of her own, something that was really impactful. And the speaker that was on the stage while we were in the back of the room had said something that triggered some emotion within her. And I happened to just be there at the right place, the right time, and I saw that she needed some compassion. So we spoke for a few minutes and she was able to change her emotional state, if you will, and she hopped on stage and I was like, wow, wow. She gave so much valuable information. I thought I need to connect with this person. Now, maybe one of these days I'll have her on the show and she'll explain some things in the arena of social media and organic reach and AI. I would say those three things are her sweet spot. I joined her program because why wouldn't I, right? When somebody makes an impact in your life, you want to know that you're in the right place, learning the right things that you need to know. So over time, I have been learning from her month after month, week after week, just being an observer even. And I would say this, she is truly a genius and understands this business better than most people that are marketing today. And what I like about what she does is her reach is organic. So you're not paying for ads to get in front of people. You are doing it the right way, which is what we are going to talk about today. So if by chance you are one that doesn't like the idea of AI, this is still going to be important information for you. I understand that it is controversial and also a personal choice, right? We can do with it or without it. So depending on what you think about AI, you may or may not be a good fit for her because she definitely does use AI to help with the marketing of what she does. So let's jump into this amazing topic. And the topic is social listening. This is something that's come into my awareness, not necessarily through Molly, but just something that sort of hit me lately. I have not heard anybody really teach on this, but it is critical and important for us, not only as an author, but as somebody who wants to get visibility and claim, like I used to say every time, claim your authority. I don't think it is a coincidence that the word author is in the word authority. Now, maybe back in the day, it was because you looked at people who had written a book as the expert or the authority. And I think this is still true today. Don't you kind of feel that way when somebody has taken the time and all of the energy that it takes to write a book? They are and become the authority on that subject, their way. And I add their way because you may write about a topic that a lot of people have shared, but it's your way. That's what makes it uniquely yours. That's what helps you claim the authority. And I love that whole idea. So social media, either you love it or hate it. And as I talk to people, I've been doing a lot of asking questions lately. I'll call it market research. Because I talk to people all the time about things like this, because it's important for me to pick people's brains and see what they're talking about, even people who are not in the business world. I recently had this experience with my high school classmates. We had a social get together. We all turned 70 years old this year. And they decided to have a birthday party. And so it was the best opportunity to ask a lot of questions. What have you been up to? What do you do about this? How are you handling this? What are you doing? Have you traveled anywhere recently? So lots of wonderful questions. But one of my friends from high school was so adorable. She came up and she said, "Hey, how are you doing?" I said, "Great. It's so good to see you." She goes, I'm a stalker." And I said, "What?" And she said, "I'm stalking you." And I said, "You are? Well, you don't have to stalk me. Just call me and let's do lunch, right?" She said, "No, on social media, I stalk you." And I said, "Well, that's really funny. Why don't you interact?" It's like, why don't you let me know you're there? And I wondered when she said that, first of all, why? Why would you stalk people on social media? That's the first question. And if you are on social media and you're stalking people, what is preventing you from reaching out? And how many more of you are there out there? That just opened up Pandora's box for me when I started thinking about things. So if she is stalking me, meaning she's watching but not reacting, at least by typing any kind of a response or any kind of interaction, it makes you think, whatever I'm doing, number one, I'm doing something right because I'm getting in front of her. It really made me think a lot. So some people hate it, some people love it. And that opened a whole conversation of the people that were kind of around us. And I discovered there were quite a few people that don't like social media. But here's the funny thing, they're all on it. So that made me laugh. It's something that you don't like, but yet you're there watching, interacting, maybe even stalking. And I do know that a lot of the people that I went to high school with do interact with me online, and I love it when they do, just like you guys. I love it when you do too. So, today we're going to be talking about this whole idea of social media, but specifically more the idea of listening. Maybe it's not a bad thing to take a step back and stalk a few people. I learned from Russell Brunson that um, it is one of those things that you can get a lot of attention. You can monetize that attention. And now I know this sounds really silly, but I was going to give you this thought about what Russell Brunson said, and it totally went right out of my mind. I guess maybe I should stick to my notes when I do these shows. It just lets you know that this is real, that this is me being real, letting you know the ins and outs of what I do and trying to keep it real. So if you want to get more eyes on your book or your topic, because really, I think the time to get involved in social media is way before you write your book. And when we talk about social listening, this is why you get to know people better. You get to know what their problems are. You get to know what they're struggling with, if they're revealing it at all on social media. And I don't know about you, but I want to connect with the people who are authentically, authentically getting to know who we are and how we are. So back to Molly, I've been in her program about 8 months, and one of the things she does is this whole idea of organic reach. She does use AI, and she does it in such a genius way that we create a month's worth of content for social media in the span of about 2 hours. And it's pretty spectacular if you ask me. I do believe that she's a genius, and I am so, so grateful that I have met her. So if you want to stalk somebody on social media, you might want to pick her. I am an affiliate for her program. So if you want to use my affiliate link, please reach out to me and I can tell you more about it. But I would say this whether I was an affiliate or not. In fact, I was saying it before I was an affiliate. I love what she does and I love how she does it. But I also think that we really need to take this giant step back and listen. So whether you interact with people or whether you don't, whether you're posting or not, if you are new to the process of writing your book or you have your book finished, I truly think this idea of social listening is going to impact you in a mighty way. So wherever you go, social media is a part of our life. Unless you're like this one lady I talked to last week, she still uses an answering machine to stay in touch with people. So phone, answering machine, no internet, no Facebook, no Instagram, no nothing. I don't think there's very many of her out there. So why would we participate, so to speak, in social listening? And what does that even mean? So if you haven't heard of the term, it basically means that it is the practice of stalking, not really stalking, but monitoring social media platforms for relevant things. This is relevant keywords, relevant conversations. It's basically research. And you always need research as you are planning a book, creating your book, finishing your book, promoting your book. It doesn't matter where you are on the spectrum. You really need to understand the power of this. So social media is not about just pushing out content. Yeah, it's great to push out content, but there's so much more to it. It is more about engaging in real time conversations that allow you to not only share your message, but fully understand those that are on your social media platforms. So I think for me, one of my biggest mistakes when it comes to social media, I think in the beginning when Facebook first started, and I was definitely an early adopter because I had been participating in chat rooms prior to that. Not only was I monitoring what my children were doing, but I found a few that really helped me. And so it was an easy kind of transfer of information and time and how we do it when Facebook first came out. But back then, I think a lot of times I was stalking people with no particular purpose in mind. Now, mind you, I think I was in business at the time doing scrapbooking and card making and things like that, but definitely not with the John Maxwell team yet, and definitely not publishing books or coaching or any of the other things I've been doing in this last, say, 15 years or so. Sometimes I would make a comment or I would like something, that seemed like really cool. I especially like the hearts. If you look at my social media at all, you will know that I put hearts on a lot of stuff. It's just me. I love hearts. I love expressing love, right? And so I don't know how you express yourself, but in the beginning, that's kind of like, ooh, I'm going to like that. I'm going to love that. I might write a little message. I didn't understand the concept of creating a comment that is it's substantial, not, oh, that's so nice. Oh, I love that picture. More than that. When you make comments, it should be more than that. But before you can really do a good comment or participate in social media so that it will really help you, I think you do have to step back and listen. Now, we're not listening with our ears, but to quote, or not quote him, but to go back to good old Franklin Covey, his principles of the 7 habits of highly successful people, well, one of those is to listen to understand. That's what we're listening for. We are trying to listen and understand those people that we want in our tribe, that we want in our world, that we want to impact with our book or any other content that we put out. We listen to understand. You want to understand your perfect fit reader. Whether your book's written or not, you still need to understand that person. And we write books to make an impact, not just a one and done, oh, great, I wrote a book, I launched it, and now it's dead. No, we want to keep impacting people. So we need to let them know about it through the different things we can do, especially on social media, because it's easier. It's easier than picking up the phone than going physically to network groups. I do those things, but social media is right there. It's just so easy. Although we did have an internet shortage this morning. I didn't even know if I was going to be able to do this show. I was like, I got this great show and like getting my dancing shoes on and know where to go, right? So once you listen to understand, then the key here is building authentic relationships. Social media is all about the relationships. So when you are social listening or uh, when you are on social media to listen and learn and understand who's there, what their needs are, and cultivating these relationships. When you do the listening part, then you really start to understand who you want to make an impact on. It takes time to really listen. You're showing your audience the same respect as you would if you were sitting and having a conversation with a close friend, listening authentically, and then adding valuable feedback or comments, more than one or two words, and certainly more than a like or a love or some kind of other emoji. That's how we turn casual followers or stalkers into people who become our loyal community. So how are we going to put all of this into practice? The first thing you need to do is maximize your visual real estate. When it comes to your images, think of those things as your billboard. One tip I read recently was to switch from a square to a portrait to really capture attention. Now, I never thought of that before, but I'm going to try it. This is something that's new to me too, but I'm passing it along and I'll report back as to how it works. But portrait instead of square, and capture the attention with a very short text, 3 to 7 words maximum is what my research is telling me. And it's kind of like the Costco method, where they give you a little nibble of a piece of some special thing that they're selling so that you want more. That's what you're doing on social media too. It's definitely marketing, right? You're piquing their interest. You want to draw their attention. So don't put too much on your photo, or if you use their pre-made colors or things with your avatar, whatever you do, keep it kind of simple and hook them. We've talked about hooks before. Hook them with a 3 to 7 word text box within your meme or photo, whatever you're using. Now, though, once you do that, you do have the opportunity to have a description. So definitely point people to your book, to your programs, to other content or specialty groups that you might have. Definitely do that in the description, but not the actual photo or meme that you're doing. You're going to serve them a taste, not the main dish. Another thing that you have probably heard 100 times, because I know I have, but in case you've not heard it, posting with a regular cadence is so much more valuable and important than just posting without any kind of purpose in mind. Your audience is going to want to know that it can depend on you. So whether you are posting several times a week or every day or every so often during the day, like multiple times during the day, be consistent. And less is better than flooding the social media all at one time and then having a break with nothing. That doesn't work well either with the social algorithms. I don't think that works with any of them. So make sure that you schedule it. Like everything, we need to have a plan, right? So get your plan in order and decide, okay, I'm going to post on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Right now, I am posting every day, one post every day, and they have different topics that I've learned from my friend Molly Mahoney and another lady too. I think her name, oh, I don't remember her name. I want to say Katrina, but she had a program that I took some time back, and my VA and I are incorporating these strategies into our social media to get more visibility. So do it with a regular schedule. Maybe you have the opportunity to do social media 3 times a day. I don't know, that's a bit much for me. But if I'm launching something, I will schedule things 3 times a day. So I make sure that I maximize the eyes that are on me. But if I am just doing routine social media, I'm trying very hard to post at least one thing a day. And we do have our social scheduled out. We're working on September right now. So that's kind of fun. At the time I'm recording this show, It is I'm about 2/3 of the way through the month. The other thing that's very important to know is to use the right keywords. Now, what is a keyword? Keywords are the things that people search. They are important to your book when you set it up on Amazon. They are important in social media. You might think of them as hashtags also. So you can hashtag your keywords as well to help people find what you're talking about. Because the idea is not just to nurture people that already know you, although that is very important, but it's to find more people that are interested in the things that you are interested in. So describe who you are and the things that are important to you. I've been building my TikTok presence, and I'm kind of excited because it's growing by about 100 people a day. I just found a valuable thing out. When you get to 10,000 people that you are following, it stops. I didn't know that until just a few days ago. I couldn't figure out why I couldn't follow any more people. I don't know if other platforms do that, but it is specific to TikTok for sure. And on TikTok, it's almost a part of the process to add your hashtags. And I think that they are very important for searching out certain things. So one of the organizations that I follow, a faith-based organization, says to take 4 or 5 of your preferred keywords, things that your audience might be searching for content like yours, and sprinkle those throughout everything. Your book description, maybe if you haven't done your book yet, maybe even in the title. Certainly when you do social media posts and also in your video content, anything and everything, make sure you maximize those keywords. Another idea is to create evergreen content because I learned a valuable lesson. People, once they find you, they scroll on in to see what you're all about, so they go way back. Now, obviously, if something big happens in the world, you want to make a comment on that. Now, that can be like an extra post or something that's not scheduled. You can't schedule those things. For example, right now in California, the buzz is all about earthquakes. Are we going to have a big one? We've been having a lot of smaller ones. In fact, one day last week, I felt it, I heard it coming, I felt it, and I dived under my dining room table. And then I looked around kind of thinking, what was that all about? Why did I even do that? I guess it's training, right? But my brother told me, don't worry, just dust the legs while you're under there. I thought that was kind of a fun thing. But keep your content both evergreen so that if somebody is looking for tips and tricks about books, they can find that I have a lot of evergreen type tips and tricks and conversation starters. And I try to engage people with evergreen content, but also sprinkle in pertinent things. I would not, unless you really feel dicey, I would not get into political conversations. What do they say? There are some things that you should avoid. And for those of us that are faith-based, I think it's especially important when we talk about our faith that we go forth in love. I heard a message this weekend from a pastor, and I thought it was valuable. I hope I'm not ever doing this, and I don't think I have. But we don't want to go first with condemnation. We really don't. We want to go first in love, right? So if you are a person of faith like I am, you want to make sure that whatever you do represents whose you are well by using certain things that will really help you help people see you for who you are. You can engage in unique calls for action. So if you have a program coming up, or if you have a live stream show like this is, any of these kinds of things, sure, say, hey, why don't you join me on my show? Or why don't you join my Facebook group? You could be on Instagram and direct them to your Facebook group or TikTok or anything else. each of the platforms have their own unique way of being, right? But no matter what you do or how you do it, whether you schedule 3 days a week or 1 day a week, it doesn't really matter if you are not being you. You have such a power and a uniqueness to give your message a special twist and presenting you with that twist. I always say, you do you, boo, right? You want to be you authentically. There's too much inauthentic stuff. You'll shine and people will be attracted to you when you are putting your best foot forward, yes, but also being real. Like I said, if you would like to join me on Facebook, I would love to see you there. Join the group. It is Write Your Book Now, Authors Helping Authors. You can search my name too to find me. I would love to add value to you. Your uniqueness and individuality will reach its pinnacle if you continue to show people who you are, what you're about, what you value, and be true to yourself. Your message will resonate deeply with those people who need to hear from you. Thank you for being a part of this show. I'm truly grateful that you watch it, that you join me, and take care, my friend.